Meet Angie, a new MDE employee. Angie brings passion to her new role, whether working from the office or from home, and is excited to see how her ideas can come to life. But Angie's story as an educator begins long ago. As a special education teacher and administrator for the past 8 years, Angie brings a lot of experience. Over the years, she has grown professionally, learning mostly from her students on what they need to learn, grow, and become a part of the community they love. Angie has already started brainstorming ideas to further help students with disabilities. After a few short months, Angie has started settling into her new role, meeting colleagues from her division, attending stakeholder meetings, and talking with districts about what's going well and the challenges they are facing. Angie starts to think about those ideas she came to the agency with and wonders how she can put them into action. As she looks ahead, she realizes there is an annual event at the agency and thinks this may be a start to incorporate some of her ideas to help meet the needs of teachers and students. However, Angie isn't quite sure where to start. Where will the event be? How will the presenters be paid? Is she responsible for reserving hotel rooms? Luckily, there are 2 experts right in her division who will be there to help every step of the way. Meet Mei Ling and Ellie, who are state program administrators. In the Special Education Division, this role assists staff with purchases, contracts, grants, and general budget and project management. In addition, the SPAs are a liaison between the Special Education Division and the Agency Finance Division, and often answer frequently asked questions. Throughout these videos, Mei Ling and Ellie will explain the processes involved in common fiscal procedures. This video contains information on the Special Education Annual Budget Proposal process. Throughout her first year at MDE, Angie has heard phrases like budget request and the special education budget, but she hasn't quite grasped what this means for her or what the budget process looks like. During her check-in with her supervisor, Angie learns that the budget process starts annually in March and continues through June to coordinate with the new fiscal year starting on July 1st. He notes that this happens throughout other divisions and at the agency level, although in different capacities. Angie nods and listens and wonders out loud, what does this mean for me, and what is the process? Angie's supervisor explains that IDEA, or the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, is a federal grant awarded to state agencies to use for special education activities. Much of these federal funds pay for the salaries of state employees. However, a portion of these funds can be used for discretionary projects, which can include professional development, technical assistance, supplies, trainings, presentations, implementation pilots, and so on. Every spring, each specialist can submit 1 or more project proposal, including a corresponding budget, to their supervisor for review. Angie and her supervisor start discussing what her projects might look like as it relates to her job description and the division and agency priorities. Angie starts to feel excited about the prospect of creating a project to further help students with disabilities. The budget process starts with Mei Ling and Ellie, or the SPA staff, distributing the instructions, forms, and videos to the special education staff, which have been approved by supervisors and directors. The forms include budget timeline and instructions, budget narrative, budget spreadsheet, and fact sheet. The forms and templates are all stored in the G Drive, with each specialist given individual folders for corresponding projects. Angie reads through the instructions and reviews the timeline. She notes that she will have about a month to complete all budget proposals, and during that time, the SPA staff will host office hours or a division brown bag to help answer any questions that she may have. As a new employee, Angie's supervisor encourages her to schedule a one-on-one with the SPA staff to help guide her through the process. Angie starts to review the forms and is grateful to have time to discuss this process with both her supervisor and the SPA staff. The budget narrative form has 6 sections for the special education staff to complete. The sections include project information, project alignments, implementation and outcomes, project team and activities, measuring results and success, and participant support costs. Each section will have specific instructions with fill-in-the-blank questions, fillable tables, or drop-down menus, and will also include examples and linked resources to assist in completion. The project information and alignment sections ask for logistical items like project name and duration, linked fiscal tools, and agency and division priority alignments. It's important to review and think through these items even if you are proposing a continuing project. The implementation and outcomes section requests measurable goals and outcomes as it relates to the implementation of evidence-based practices. Information should include the measures or activities that will be implemented, goals of scaling and sustainability, and could include information on impact, risk, and benefits. This section can be brief but specific, giving supervisors and directors valuable information on the current and future scope of the project. In addition, it will be important to include elements of how progress will be measured and any important milestones for the upcoming fiscal year. Any good project has an even better team behind it, supporting with diverse roles, backgrounds, and viewpoints. This section gives the opportunity to name different playmakers in your team, including partners from other agencies, stakeholders, outside contractors, supervisors, or project managers. The next table asks for specific activities that will be completed. Listed activities are not limited to those that are tied to a fiscal tool, but should include activities that happen during exploration, data collection, and installation. Sharing data, results, and success stories are an important component of any project. The Measuring Results and Success section allows you to share data collections, project and activity impact, improve outcomes, and success stories. This information is essential to the budget process, as results will shape the funding action for the future. In this section, you can also link an updated project fact sheet or other documents that share data and results related to your proposal. The final section of the budget narrative requests confirmation of participant support costs that may be a part of a project budget request. Certain expenditures of federal funds, including paying for or reimbursing participants on travel or registration costs, require prior approval from the Office of Special Education Program. It is important to think about the entire fiscal year when seeking approval for PSCs, as the process may take time and work cannot continue until approval has been granted. If you are unsure whether a project includes participant support costs, please don't hesitate to contact the SPA staff or your supervisor. After Angie finishes her budget narrative, she moves on to the next document in the budget request, the budget spreadsheet. The spreadsheet is an opportunity to itemize all budget items in the following categories: meeting room rental, printing and state register, APA or Pro-Tech contracts, computer services, interagency agreement, supplies and books, equipment, meeting reimbursements, and grants to school districts, higher education, and non-governmental organizations. Angie reviews the categories and starts to make a note of the items she has been planning and discussing with her supervisor. She knows that she would like to contract with 2 consultants using annual plan agreements, and that she will be continuing some work with the University of Minnesota through a joint powers agreement. In addition, she would like to order a set of books for participants at an annual forum. Since Angie doesn't think she has any more items in any of the other categories, she decides to start filling out the spreadsheet. In the budget spreadsheet, the categories are listed on the left-hand side, with rows underneath to fill in information about the vendor or product. Under APA and Pro Tech contracts, Angie has listed the 3 vendors that she would like to contract with in the upcoming fiscal year: the University of Minnesota, Rivers Consulting, and Eli Lieb. She lists the type of contracts they are and the amounts that she anticipates spending. Angie notices that the indirect and total costs automatically calculate. Next, Angie will combine the totals of each contract and put the amount in the total line, which is above all the listed contracts. Once she does that, the indirect and total costs will again automatically calculate. As you can see, the total costs of all the contracts, including indirect costs, is $95,776. Since Angie also would like to purchase books for an upcoming forum, she enters in the approximate total of the books and again in the overall total line. Angie reviews all the categories again in the budget spreadsheet and doesn't see a need for any additional purchases for the fiscal year, but she will review the spreadsheet with the SPA staff and her supervisor. The last part of the budget spreadsheet asks for information about start dates and spending. If a contract, grant, or purchase needs to be in place by July 1st, the first day of the fiscal year, please select Yes for the corresponding item. This will allow the supervisors, OAS, and SPA staff to approve and have fiscal forms ready to be executed in time. Also, estimated spending per quarter is also requested. For example, if Angie knows that she will be ordering books sometime in October, she can estimate that the full amount will be spent during quarter 2. The spending may not always be known, but estimates will be helpful when planning the overall division budget. If you have questions about this part of the budget spreadsheet, do not hesitate to contact the SPA staff who will be able to assist. Angie finalizes her budget narrative and spreadsheet after consulting with the SPA staff and her supervisor, and now she is ready to upload the final documents into her individual folder in the G Drive. In addition to the budget narrative and spreadsheet, the project fact sheet should also be updated and uploaded as applicable. The next steps in the budget process will largely be led by the SPA staff, supervisors, and the director. After budget proposals have been submitted, the supervisors will review forms and meet with staff to discuss project alignment and budget amounts. These steps may take a month or longer to complete. As supervisors and staff finalize proposals, SPA staff assists with compiling unit information for director approval. Once the director has reviewed and edited proposals, division project and budget approvals will be announced. At this point, Angie will need to upload the final approved documents into the G Drive, specifically the approved budget spreadsheet. This will allow the SPA staff to create an electronic budget book for easy access and easily shareable information for supervisors and directors. As Angie looks ahead to her project, she is grateful for the resources and opportunity to further help students with disabilities in such a unique way. She continues to work with Ellie and Mei Ling for her fiscal needs and is excited to work with other colleagues on their shared vision for the future. Budget resources can be found in the Division Team's SharePoint site and in the G Drive. If you have questions, please reach out to the SPA team for assistance. Thank you.